Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm finally back. I was sick for a little over a week. I'm finally into making videos again. I did a couple like right before I got sick, but you could hear me wheezing in them and like coughing and stuff, and I was like, this is just not gonna work. So I had a few different videos planned for today, but there's something about this Demi Lovato situation that is just bothering me so much. I don't know what it is. Something in me must resonate with her. I just wanted to share my feelings on the whole situation, especially after PewDiePie had posted that meme. It wasn't that, but the video that he did kind of explaining the meme and why he did it and talks about addiction a bit. A lot of the comments on that video kind of got under my skin. So I just want to share my feelings about this. It will be a sensitive subject. I'm going to talk about my own addiction issues. So trigger warning, just in case any of that will bother you. And I don't have any makeup on except for my eyes. I tight lined and I used the Urban Decay primer potion and I set with creme brulee. Most of the products I'm going to be using from foundation to eyes to lips. Oh, and I already used my Kokie Cosmetics mascara. All of them are pretty much from Kokie Cosmetics. I was in Rite Aid yesterday morning, and I saw these new Duo Metallic shadows here. So I thought that I would give it a shot. This is in the shade Beloved. So I also have the Kokie Cosmetics Peachy Queen palette that I might go into for a little bit of color in the crease. I was reading some reviews online of these duos, and a lot of people said they work best if you do one eye at a time and use your finger to apply the cream and then use your finger to apply the shimmer. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, so we'll just get right into it. So if you didn't know, oh, I'm also going in with this e.l.f. Aqua Primer Mist stuff. If you didn't know, last week, Demi Lovato went to the hospital for an overdose. We're unclear of what drugs she overdosed on. We do know that it is an opioid because she was unconscious and brought back with the drug Narcan. I'm very familiar with Narcan because my husband, he volunteered at like a rehab place for people that may need teeth, because a lot of addicts, you know, your teeth get really bad. And he also got certified in how to administer and how to teach people how to administer Narcan. And so I know what it is. And so, I mean, kudos to him, because I don't even think he, like, I've had friends that have overdosed and passed away. He just really cares about people. And so in our area, addiction is pretty rampant, and he is going to do like a meeting to teach some of these parents how you can use Narcan to save lives. So right now we know that she is still in the hospital. They said that, you know, she's having some complications like a high fever and nausea, which could be, you know, a mix of the complications from the actual overdose and from going through withdrawal. I'm not going to speculate on that. I don't know. And I don't know what she overdosed on. We just know it was an opioid of some kind. So, I don't know what it was about this situation that really got to me. But I don't even, like, there's one song I know by her. And an old friend of mine, Matt, sent me a video. It was called Stone Cold. And I think it was an a cappella version, and he's a fan. And if you don't know, I'm more of a metal fan. I'm not a rocker chick. I like metal, like Surruption, Spawn of Possession, Obscura, stuff like that. So listening to a Demi Lovato song was a little bit, well, I have an open mind when it comes to like any music, and I really did end up liking it. I didn't think that I would. Sometimes you can be like closed-minded like that, and a lot of metalheads are like really snobby when it comes to music. So anyway, so I really like that song. But aside from that, I mean, I don't typically listen to her. I don't know much about her. But for whatever reason, I have had dreams about her. I have been woken up in tears by some of this stuff. So, I mean, something just must resonate with me quite a bit. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about PewDiePie, his meme. I get it. Like, I get his point of view when it comes to addiction, because a lot of people, like, share that same view where ultimately, and which is true, that it is up to the person to get help. What I don't think people realize is that it's not that easy to just stop doing something when you're addicted to it. Now, I have been addicted to food, pain pills, alcohol. I know the struggle is real, and I know every day is different. You just don't know what it's going to be like. There are days where it is incredibly easy to not drink, and I haven't done any pills for a very long time, but there are other days where, like, you just feel this need. You have to drink, you know? And it's not easy. And when I see people talk about this situation, like, well, she's a fucking idiot, it makes me sad, because, you know, whether you're famous, have a large fan base, have a lot of money, people go through some shit, you know? Like, they still have real problems. And I don't understand where people lost all empathy for other people. It's really disgusting. I'm going in with the Fit Me concealer. It makes me really sad. I mean, I have known people that, you know, like I said, have overdosed. And I know how incredibly, like, difficult it can be to stay sober. And I just feel for her. I really, really do. And when I see people, you know, oh, she's a fucking idiot, or, oh, well, just stop, you know, it's not that easy. And I think that there are a lot of people that have dealt with addiction in their lives, family members, friends, and probably got really fucked over by some of them, because, you know, it's not unheard of to steal things to get drugs, and, you know, people get hurt by that, especially if it's like a parent. And I think that that can really make people just angry at addicts, and not realize that whether they like it or not, addiction is a disease, medically defined as a disease because of how the chemicals work in your brain. Some people like to say it's not a disease and it's just a choice and whatever, and that's an opinion. But when we're talking about facts, it is a disease. And it's kind of hard if you don't have any, you know, if you never had any type of addiction to anything. I'm going in with the RCMA powder. It's hard to really be able to, like, empathize and, like, grasp, like, the severity of how it feels. There's so many times still now where I'm like, I just want to feel normal. Why can't I just be normal? Why can't I go out and socially drink? Like, why can't I not have panic attacks? Like, it's just, and when you fuck up, it hurts a lot, because you don't want to disappoint anybody. And, you know, it's hard to keep remembering. Like, you have to remind yourself every day, multiple times a day, that you're not okay. Like, that you will never be okay, but you can start being okay. It's hard because, like, my husband can have one beer. There are times when I've only been able to have, like, a beer or two. But for the most part, like, once I start drinking, I can't stop. And it is this feeling, like, in the pit of your soul that is so hard to overcome. And I feel for her, because I feel like, you know, I know how desperate you can feel, and just how alone you can feel, and how disappointed in yourself that you can feel. All of those things. I'm gonna, I think, take this little chocolatey brown shade here and go into my crease with it. I also have a Kokie Cosmetics brush that I will use for blending. This is almost a full face of Kokie Cosmetics. So I wanted to also touch on, you know, people talking about her going to rehab and all these things. And it's true that she will eventually need help, but now isn't the time to, like, bombard her with that, like, kind of shit, if you know what I mean. So I feel like, you know, if you guys, I don't think I've ever mentioned this on my channel before, but there was a study done, and I believe it was called, ooh, I kind of like this darker shade here, but I believe it was called the Rat Paradise Experiment. And essentially what that was is they took, these researchers, they took a mouse and put it in a cage, and I know this looks really weird, but I'm going to blend it, and put it in a cage, and it had two water bottles. One water bottle was just water, and the other one was laced with morphine. Now, 90-some% of the time, the mouse would drink the morphine-laced water. And this went on for a while. Then they introduced the same rat into a group of rats, and they had toys, and they had spinny wheels to run on, and they had all of these, you know, things, all these activities, and all these other mice. Put the mouse in there, and barely at all did it go for the morphine-laced water, because it just proves that you have to take yourself out completely of the environment that you are in before you can really, like, stay sober or, like, get clean. And that's why in places like in Prague, they decriminalize drugs. And if you're caught with them, they help you get a job. They help you rehabilitate. They help you find a different place to live. They help you get out of that environment. Now that's giving a shit about people in your country. Over here, it's a little more like, you know, you're fucked. Because nobody gives a shit. I just don't understand it. And to see some of the comments that, you know, have been on threads and different things, like, oh, I hope she, like, dies. Oh, my God. Like, could you imagine somebody saying that about you? And it just feels, like, it's so, like, heartbreaking to see that. And I struggle with the fact that if I should even talk about this, because, you know, I'm not trying to, like, exploit it or anything. I just feel like it is so important, you know, and I know that she has, like, a young following, and I know that, she had been in rehab before, but I think that, like, this situation just kind of, like, shows you, like, no matter what, you know, you're not always going to be okay. Like, you know, material things and fame and stuff, it's not going to make everything better, you know? When you have issues, and that's just, you know, the way that it is. And I'm not really sure why I care so much, but, like, she's on my mind. I'm like, I wonder how she's doing, and, you know, I wonder if she's going to pull through, if she's going to be okay, and, oh, I hope she's not reading this stuff, you know, because people are, like, so brutal. And I guess with, like, addiction, you know, it's easier to say, like, just stop then. Do you think that if it wasn't a disease, and if you think it was so easy, like, people would really not want to get off of heroin or meth? I mean, have you seen what it does to you? You know, and I know that those opinions may vary, depending on who you are and, like, your own experiences with addiction. But it's sad, and it's hard, and, I just don't know why more people aren't that empathetic, you know? We have lost many people, here from overdoses, heroin mostly. I've lost a lot of friends to suicide. It's almost like this town is cursed. And these people weren't bad people, and they weren't losers. They weren't stupid junkies. They weren't any of those things. They were kind, and they struggled, you know, and they knew that they were struggling. And it was hard, you know. And I remember at one point, like, back whenever I was, like, still in school, there was this, I think that, like, our budget for some reason, like, had gone up, and some of the board members wanted to build a rehab facility here, because, like, more than half of the kids were, like, on drugs, and people were dying, you know. I have to dump out some of this powder. I don't like these little things, so I'll probably take this out and put it into, like, a different type of container, which usually I get on Amazon. That's what I do with my powders that come in those types of containers. I am really kind of liking this. I hope you guys can see the payoff of this shimmer. I really like it. So so instead of building the rehab, they decided to build a new football field. That's how important these kids were, you know. I thought maybe eventually it would get better around here as I got older, but it just seems to be just as bad, or, like, even worse. And I wish that we were a type of country, a type of society that understood that not everybody comes from the same circumstances. Not everybody grows up with the same opportunities, the same money, the same, you know, home life. Not everybody is like you, you know. That's why it may be easy for people to sit there and be like, oh, she's such a piece of shit, or, oh, she's just a junkie, you know, and not have that empathy, because your life experience may be different than others, you know. But when you lose people that you care about to addiction, or when you struggle with it yourself, it matters, you know. This is the shimmery here. I think I'll add a little bit of eyeliner. Maybe I'll try the Kokie Cosmetics eyeliner. Excuse me. I'm still trying to get rid of this cough. This I used once before on the channel. This is the Line and Style liner from Kokie. It's very long. I didn't not like it. I just thought it was really, really long. It's kind of dry, just a little bit. This would, like, really jab somebody in the eye. I'm not going to really do a wing. I'm just going to kind of line close to the lash line. So yeah, so I feel like, you know, people just don't, like, they just don't get it, you know? And there are even people that I know that suffered from heroin addiction that got clean, and now they act like they're a god. Like they were never addicted, and they put down other addicts. And they're like, well, if I can do it, you can do it. but not everybody has the money to go to rehab. Not everybody has the chance to go, and there are a lot of people that don't have a support system. And I think it's important to remember that when you are judging somebody for something that maybe you don't understand. Oh, this liner got a little out of control on this side. Is that everybody's different and everybody goes through different types of struggles. And just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it's not valid. It doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't matter. And I'm so sick of people essentially, like, if it doesn't affect them, then they don't give a shit. And I just don't know how people can be like that. I mean, me personally, like, I just don't understand. This is the Kokie Cosmetics Velvet Smooth Eyeliner. I'm going to do a little bit of color under here on my waterline. I'm just in the mood. So you guys have to let me know how you feel about this situation. I'm not trying to say that people, you know, that don't get the addiction side of things are like wrong or bad. You know, it's hard to understand. And I get that. I just wish that people had, you know, more empathy for other people, you know? And especially in a situation where you're so famous and you're so popular and everybody loves you, but you still need the help, you know? I'm going to go in with the highlighter Blossom Glow from Wet n Wild. Let's see here if I can find a brush. Yeah, I'm not really sure, like, what it is that is going on, but for some reason, this story has just touched me. Like, it has just made me sad. Like, and I'm not, like I said, I don't know why. I don't have any type of, like, attachment to her. I don't necessarily like her music. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird. Don't have a good highlighting brush here, but I do have this Real Techniques fat brush that I like to just get the top of the cheekbone. Do a little on the nose. I just feel like, you know, it would be great if we were a country that cared about people and that realized that people have, you know, different upbringings and they don't always have all of this support and they don't always have a way to get help or enough people to care about them to want to get help, and that sending them to prison and then letting them out into the same exact situation, that doesn't work, you know? And as far as it ultimately being up to addicts, like PewDiePie had said, this is T Rose from Milani. I agree, you know, it is, and it takes a strong person, and it takes a lot of support. You know, of course, it depends on the person. And I get that. It's just, it's not that easy, you know what I mean, for a lot of people. And I think I'm just going to do like a little bronzing. I don't necessarily want to do like a bunch of contour. I have to take my mom to go get some teeth pulled today. I'm going to go into this shade here. This is the Kokie Cosmetics Bronzing and Contour palette, which I really do enjoy. So you guys will have to let me know if you're a fan of hers. Like, what do you think? You know, it was hard for me to be like, oh, I'm going to make this video because I don't know if anybody wanted to hear what I had to say about it. But like I said, like, I just keep thinking about her. I just can't stop. And not like in an obsessive way either. I just mean worried about her. And it's odd because I usually don't have those feelings for people that I don't know. and even people I'm not even like a big fan of. I'm going in with the lip veneer in the shade Invincible from Kokie Cosmetics. You would think this would be sponsored, it is not. I will say I like the lip veneer better than like the matte, the like liquid mattes that they have. It's not as dry and it lasts pretty much just as long. So I'm going to end this with a little bit of setting spray. Had just enough. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about her situation, about addiction? You know, have you had your own struggles? What do you think about everything? Oh, I got my Ryland Truth Tea Sis. I love Ryland Adams. But anyway, so let me know what you guys think. I just kind of wanted to sit here and share how I felt like this morning. Like I had a dream about her last night, and then this morning I go online and one of the headlines is that there's like complications and she's still in the hospital. They feel like she's going to recover, but they don't know like when she'll be able to like leave the hospital and stuff. And it just makes me really sad. And to see people, you know, those people that don't have any empathy for others, I will never understand. I'm not saying that you need to feel sorry for everybody, but it's just not as easy as just saying, just get off drugs, like just stop drinking, just stop eating. I mean, there are all types of different addictions, and I just feel like, you know, as a whole, we should be more compassionate towards people that are going through issues, you know? And, yeah, so I just wanted to share how I felt about her and this whole situation. I have a couple other videos I'm going to do this week, a Tana Mojo Slain Shade, and my thoughts on FouseyTube, which is the video I recorded the day that I got sick, where I was, like, wheezing, and it was a nightmare. But, yeah, so thank you guys for listening to me ramble and, you know, for watching and subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Love and hugs. Bye.